So the CEO of Joseph type grid. So he even put the percentage of population. So I don't know how you know that. Where's the database, dude? But yeah, seriously, I mean, I do like CEO Joseph theories overall. Even though I will break it now to pieces. Like populations, like okay, where's your data? Okay, I can see overall. Okay, just making the prediction, or kind of overall, No, SGSP is kind of just an old temperament thing. I would prefer to see more SF, ST, NT, NF. But whatever, it might be more useful. Just take it as it is for now. Structure, starter, finishers, background. So in OPS, the starters would be, I guess, more the EP. So now you have more the EP kind without the ESTP, and you replace it with ESFJ. Structure will be more, I guess, the EJ. So the ESFJ are and ESTP are swapped with the starter and structure. So, and I guess in structure they are all thinker except the ENFJ, and starter they're all feelers except the ENTP. Okay. And finisher is more IJ, but the ISTP is there instead of the ISFJ. Okay. And it's more thinker for the finisher except the INFJ. And background, I guess it's all feeder except the INTP. Okay. So what is interesting there is that I do think that background do fit with the social 4, finisher with social 3. Yeah, finishing a project. The starter is more the social type 2. The one providing a structure is more the social type 1. Now, roughly with the type, I do agree. I think that starter is more EP alike. Maybe we're nest with the ESFJ. Structure might be more EJ alike. Okay, maybe more IP. I don't know. Maybe swap the background and the structure, but it's true that the EJ are loud. So yeah, structure do make sense also with the severe OI. So yeah, structure maybe yeah EJ. So I'm not sure. Okay, ESTP versus ESFJ. And they have the interaction style. So initiating is more the extrovert part. Initiating also the introvert part. Responding is more introvert. Responding introvert. Informative. It's more like perceiver except the ISFJ. So informative is more SC, NI, any SI axis. So except for ESFP and ISFJ. So which kind of mean, okay, if you're an SF observer, you are also informative. So SF observer are informative, and all the any SI axis. So all the any SI axis, and if you're an SF observer, you're informative, except ESTJ. Okay. For some reason. Control. Okay, background also control. Okay. Maybe more like a decider, like the control part. So all decider are control, except ESTP and ISFJ, they are observer, and ESFJ and ISTP are actually movement. Okay, so movement maybe seems also more AC and I axis. If the control are more NE SI, means that movement are more SC NI. Okay, so it's not a clean math, but we can see still some pattern. If you analyze it with the OPS. The fourth side of the mind, the ego and all that, unconscious, superego, subconscious. Of course in OPS, the ego, yes, it's more the saviors. The unconscious might be more the demons. The superego, okay, it's more like a society wants you to be. I guess kind of depend on the. I think it's kind of depend in OPS. Subconscious, I think. I guess it's more. It would be more your first demon, or maybe your second saviors, or maybe even your first saviors that you're not really aware of because you do it automatically. Kind of depend there. Yeah, I mean concrete. Now go back to the type grid. Concrete, okay, sensory, affiliative, more. Well, it's okay. All the SG, yeah, the SG and the NF are affiliative. Okay. So if you are a feeder and SI-NE axis, yeah, if you are a feeder and SI-NE axis, you're affiliative, except the SFP. I say except the SFP. They are pragmatic. Maybe it's because you have the SE. And STRS is the NF and the SP. Okay. It does. I mean, some makes sense from the get-go. But to type people with that, not really on board with that. Even I do think Sir Joseph type people a lot better than other people, but yeah. So yeah, I think he also correlate the forthcoming with social types, and his social type I think is due to environment and nurture. So I think he would say that some people are subconscious focus, some are unconscious focus. And c'est quoi, unconscious focus and unconscious development, something like that. But if you're like both of unconscious focus and unconscious development, you're more social type 1. So it's more like nurture and environment would create a social type. So it's more how we see it, and they pretty much correlate pretty much to the social type that we have now. I think at the same time I have OPS came out, the social type. So in 2023 think he started talking about that. Maybe he's talking about it before, behind his paywall. But yeah, and they have some vice and virtue depending on the forthturning and the types, I think. No, yeah, in the middle of the parent, it's the cognitive origin, so justification, living virtue, the dyad, deadly sin. Okay, so kind of correlate the sin thing. So I like Sir Joseph theories actually, but no, I mean with typing it's kind of not really the right way to do it about typing, I think, and I think it might be too much prone to confusion, and actually not really actually be about the right thing. I think it's just too much. It's too much to be right on the. So no, I also I mean Sir Joseph does a lot of theory, so he refined his theories and all that, so it's pretty much, so it's still there, but it's still refined his theory. And the temples, heart, soul, mind, body. I know that the soul temple is like ESTP, ENFP, INFJ, ISTJ. So basically, the foresight of the mind. Your foresight would be either in the soul, in the heart, or in the mind, or in the body. So that one I find interesting. I do think, okay, maybe there's some patterns to it. Even his interaction style, I kind of map every thing of his. I have CF Joseph now, but I connect with it. So yeah, direct, I think it's more blast, sleep, OI, introvert, SC, NI axis, ST, masculine, IU social type, formative. You can see what I correlate with. Movements, more observer, optimistic, intuition, okay. So it's more the first and third position, intuition. FI-TI axis, controls more decider, optimistic, sensory, FI-TI axis, concrete, it's pretty much basic. Affiliative, feeding, okay, NF, SI, NE axis, like I said. Pragmatic, yeah, more thinker, TI axis. Okay, yeah, that's more social type, like unconscious develop, unconscious focus, so it's more social type 1. Yeah, interest. Yeah, the social, I also include the social type in that. Makes sense to me. So if you look at the is grid and look at my correlation, I think it's pretty much, and it's pretty much giving actually.